My name is Cindy Solomon, and I represent Administrators Advisory Group. Now, before you cut off the video because you're not interested, I'd like to cover a couple of things that are a problem and could be detrimental to you as an employer, to a lot of companies. You know, it doesn't matter if you have 20 employees, it doesn't matter if you have 1,000, you still have the same problems. One example that I'd like to talk about is sexual harassment. You know, you don't want to think about sexual harassment being a problem in your company. But all it takes is one employee that finds something or someone offensive, and you have a problem. It could cause you a lot of aggravation. It could cost you a lot of money. So here's one example. And just for the sake of this video, I'm going to call this lady Cindy. Cindy went to work in the early 90s for a large company that had craft stores all over Florida. Part of her job description was she had to communicate with the warehouse manager. So when she first started, she wanted to do her job. She goes out to the warehouse. Well, lo and behold, the warehouse manager decides he's going to just grope a little. Now, Cindy was a very forward person, so she just flat out told him, you know, you do it again, I break your fingers. And he didn't do it again. So she just assumed that he tried that with all new members, new employees. Until she started paying attention to the other ladies in the office, and they wouldn't go out to the warehouse by themselves. They would go in pairs. So one day she asked them, wanted to know why they did that. And they told her, because the warehouse manager wouldn't grab them if they went out there in pairs. So Cindy went to her boss, who was the president of the company, and told him about it. Well, he was just flabbergasted. He never had an inkling because no one had ever said a word. So they called the warehouse manager in. Cindy sat in on the meeting. And the end results were, after he realized he couldn't deny it, the end results were they suspended him a week without pay. And that was the end of it, as far as Cindy knows. That was in the 90s. Now, it could end up costing your company thousands of dollars. Thousands of dollars. That's a blatant act of sexual harassment. Let me tell you one that's not so blatant that you probably don't even think about. And again, I'll call this lady Cindy. Cindy worked for a major attraction in the administrative offices here in Central Florida. Cindy she's been married for years. She was a grandmother. She was a hugger. She was just a very compassionate person. She'd hug you if you were happy. She'd hug you if you were sad. Her philosophy was everybody needs a hug. Until she hugged the wrong person. A young man that worked in her office decided that he didn't appreciate that, and he went to their boss and told him that Cindy was sexually harassing him. Well, her boss was just, she couldn't believe it. Cindy had been there 27 years, and she had never acted any differently toward anyone. So they called her in, and she was just devastated. Cindy was devastated. But they explained to her, that they knew she didn't mean anything by it. And they talked to the employee. Well, it all worked out. It all worked out. But that was the last thing she would ever have imagined would happen. How can you hug a person and get called up for sexual harassment? Well, it's very easy. People don't stop to think about the wrong touch of an arm, the wrong honey, the wrong deer, the wrong, you need training. Your managers need training on how to avoid sexual harassment. You might have had that training. You might have made sure that your employees, your managers have had that training. Here's another topic. Your employee application. Do you know that, and I'm sure you do, one word, one phrase can make you liable to an employee that has decided that you had no right to ask that question. You had no right to that information. Someone that you didn't hire for other reasons can come back and say, you shouldn't ask me that question. Now I want money. So what do? Do you take them to court and end up paying thousands? Or do you give them what they ask? My point is that unless you have someone that specifically knows what to look for, specifically knows how to train you in topics that you're not aware of or that you never even dreamed you needed to be aware of, then you can be in trouble. And again, it doesn't matter if you have 20 employees, it doesn't matter if you have 1,000. The purpose of this is to introduce Administrators Advisory Group. Administrators Advisory Group specializes in these items. I'll be right up front, they're brokers, and your first comment is going to be, we already have a broker. And I'm sure you do, and I'm sure they're a good one. But how often do you see them? Do you only see them when it's time to renew your insurance? Administrators Advisory Group wants to show you what they have to offer, and it won't cost you a thing. You never, even if you hire Administrators Advisory Group, you don't pay them. I'm not going to say you hire them to pay them, because you don't write Administrators Advisory Group a check for anything. It's just the services they offer that make them unique. They will train your staff in sexual harassment. They'll do a free review of your employee application, your handbook, your rules, your services. They'll do a free review for you before they even talk to you about becoming part of your team. Not many brokers offer that. Not many brokers make sure that they meet with you at least once a month. They're always available. Myra, the president of Administrators Advisory Group, is only a phone call away if you need her, other than the times she comes to see you. Take claims, for instance. Have you ever sat on the phone with an insurance company? It takes hours if you get a person. If you have insurance claims, all your employees have to do, if they have a problem, is pick up the phone and call Administrators Advisory Group's office, and they will get personalized service. They'll talk to a person. That person will do whatever they can to help them. So all I'm asking, take the time to meet with Myra once. Myra will offer you any help she can. She'll explain all the services that they offer. She will meet with you for 3 months. She'll review your handbook. She'll review your application. She'll make sure that, you have it down pat. And this is before she even asks you to hire her. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. I learned a lot just preparing for it. I'll be giving you a call to see if I can set up an appointment. Thanks.